Good day, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that is very close to home for all of us. The topic is housing prices and affordability in Malaysia. Now, you might be thinking, why should I worry about housing prices right now? I'm still in university. That's a fair question. But here's the thing, whether you plan to buy a home, rent one, or live with your parents for a few more years, housing prices will affect your life sooner than you might expect. Understanding how the housing market works now can help you make smarter decisions later on. Let's start with the most basic question. Why does housing matter? Housing isn't just a roof over our heads, it's also one of the biggest financial commitments we'll ever make. For most people, buying a house is the most expensive purchase in their entire life. It's where we live, build families, and create long-term stability. So if houses are too expensive or out of reach, it creates serious challenges, not just for individuals but for society as a whole. In Malaysia, housing affordability has become a major issue, especially for young people and those living in cities. It's not just a personal problem, it's also an economic one. When people can't afford homes, it affects demand, slows down property markets, and can even limit job mobility. If someone has to commute 2 hours every day just to work in the city because they can't afford to live nearby, that affects their productivity and quality of life. Let's talk numbers for a moment. According to data from the National Property Information Center, the average house price in Malaysia has tripled over the past 15 to 20 years. In the early 2000s, a house in Malaysia might have cost around Rm 150,000. Fast forward to now, and that average price is around Rm 430,000, depending on location. In big cities like Kuala Lumpur, the average price is often above Rm 600,000, and that's just for basic apartments or condominiums. Now, compare that to wages. Back in the 2000s, a fresh graduate could expect to earn around Rm 2,000 to Rm 2,500 per month. Today, many graduates still earn around Rm 2,800 to Rm 3,200, not a huge increase when you consider how much housing prices have grown. So what does this mean? It means that the gap between income and housing prices is growing, and that makes it much harder for young people to afford a home. One common way economists measure housing affordability is the median house price to income ratio. It's actually a pretty simple idea. You just take the median house price and divide it by the median annual household income. According to international standards, a ratio of 3.0 or below is considered affordable. That basically means the average home should cost no more than 3 times your yearly income. In Malaysia, that ratio is currently around 4.8, and in cities like KL or Penang, it can go even higher, sometimes above 6 or 7. That's way above the affordable level. What this tells us is that homes in Malaysia are seriously unaffordable, especially in urban areas. So what's causing these high prices? There are a few key reasons. Urban demand. More and more people are moving to cities for better job opportunities, but land is limited in these areas, and high demand pushes prices up. Everyone wants to live in Kuala Lumpur, but there's only so much space. Rising land and construction costs. The cost of building materials, labor, and land have all gone up. Developers need to make a profit, so they often build more expensive homes to recover these costs. Speculation and investment. Some people buy property not to live in it, but to sell later at a higher price. This drives up prices further and makes it harder for real buyers to compete. Mismatch in supply and demand. Many of the homes being built today are not targeted at the people who actually need affordable housing. Developers tend to build mid-range or luxury properties because that's where the profit is. As a result, there are too many expensive homes and not enough affordable ones. Government efforts and housing schemes. The Malaysian government has taken some steps to address this issue. For example, there are affordable housing schemes like PR1MA or Perumahan Rakyat 1 Malaysia, which offers homes at below-market prices for middle-income Malaysians. There's also Rumah Mampu Milik, which are state-run affordable housing programs. BSN, My Home, and Maybank Housekey are financing schemes designed to help first-time homebuyers with lower interest or even zero down payments. While these programs do help, the reality is that they still don't reach everyone. Many young people, especially fresh graduates, still find it hard to qualify for home loans due to high debt, like PTPTN loans, unstable jobs, or simply not earning enough to make the monthly payments. So what are we supposed to do? For many young Malaysians, renting is the only realistic option in the short term. But even renting can be expensive. In some city areas, rent can take up to 40 to 50% of your monthly salary. This creates a cycle. You spend a lot on rent, which makes it hard to save. Without savings, you can't afford a deposit for a house. Without a deposit, you can't get a loan. And the cycle just continues. Some of us might live with our parents longer, which helps save money, but that's not always possible for everyone, and many young adults want independence. Housing affordability isn't just a personal issue, it also affects the wider economy. When young people delay buying homes, it affects the property market. Developers may slow down new projects, which affects jobs in construction and real estate. When people can't afford to live near their workplace, it creates traffic congestion, longer commutes, and more stress. There's also the social side. When people can't afford homes, they may delay starting families, which can lead to lower birth rates and a shrinking workforce in the future. So housing isn't just a financial issue, it touches every part of society. What can we do about it? This is a big problem and there's no quick fix. But here are a few steps we can take. Educate ourselves. The first step is to understand how the housing market works. Learn how loans, mortgages, and interest rates work. Know what your rights are as a renter or buyer. Start planning early. Even if you're still studying, you can start building good financial habits. Save regularly, avoid unnecessary debt, and build a good credit score. Support better policies. As future voters and leaders, we can push for better housing policies like more affordable housing in city areas, stricter controls on speculative buying, and stronger protection for renters. Be open to alternatives. Maybe our first home won't be in the city center. Maybe it's a small unit in the suburbs or a shared property. It's okay to start small and grow later. To wrap up, housing prices in Malaysia have been rising much faster than our incomes. This makes it harder for young people to afford homes, especially in urban areas. While the government has introduced some helpful programs, many challenges remain. But we don't have to feel hopeless. By staying informed, managing our finances wisely, and being realistic about our options, we can still work towards homeownership or financial independence in the future. Most importantly, we need to talk about this issue more in classrooms, in media, and in public policy. Because housing is not just an economic issue, it's about our future, our security, and our ability to build a life of our own. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.